licensing thing?
Well, the video didn't actually play there to start. That's always a good start when Chris is in here. Any intro video or anything. Everyone, welcome to the All with Smile Faces podcast. Oh, fantastic start. We'll take full responsibility for that one. Me filling in for Chris again this week after a good result for the Mags last night. Some of us are still a little bit hungover, very clearly, by that intro. But a good all-round feeling, though. We got ourselves another win. That's back-to-back wins now for Newcastle, and we're not too far away now, but a lot to talk about. Bestie, not a bad result yesterday.
Not bad at all, yeah. Two good results with Burnley as well last week. The Burnley one was a weird one because I didn't see any of the bad bit. I watched the first quarter of an hour or so, 20 minutes, put the kids to bed, came back downstairs, and when I came downstairs was when they hit the crossbar.
Aye.
And then after that, we kind of controlled it, so everyone's talking about how bad Burnley was. I thought, oh, we did okay. But yeah, the results were. I'm assuming that's why Chris isn't here because he embarrassed himself last week. he's flapping.
Well, that might be it. He tells me he's in Scotland. He didn't want to take his laptop and do it remotely. That's what I heard. But
he's going for an interview for the Celtic job.
Well, yeah,
that's why. I noticed as soon as he got to Scotland, he got sacked. So
Yeah.
But yeah, the Burnley result. Maybe do you want to talk about the Burnley game first? I know we haven't been in here, but I know we've done a couple of reviews. I personally didn't want to talk about the Burnley game because I was trying to actually get it out of my mind. To be honest with you, even though I think it was one of those results where I was the most disappointed win I've ever had, but I don't know if that's just me being pessimistic. I was not disappointed that we won, but when I left, it was the weirdest feeling I'd had from a win in quite some time.
I think I was in the minority because I didn't think it was that bad. Like everyone, I went on social media, and people were like, "This is terrible," and
I need to start leaving the group.
That's how we do it. Yeah.
Like Lee Ryder's gone, it was an onslaught and stuff like that, and I'm thinking like, whoa.
Well, in fairness though, that wasn't
an onslaught.
That was more. Because obviously a lot of fans on social media have been asking journalists to get tough with them and ask them tough questions and stuff like that. And so I think the onslaught was probably the wrong word.
You're doing it after 6 minutes, and no one's talking about that part. It's just about this middle part.
I think that's
maybe
the issue, isn't it? Is when you start off so brightly. And then,
well, people are expecting 10-0 then, aren't they?
Aye.
No offense, but people
like you,
I'm very sarcastic.
It's only Burnley.
I'm very sarcastic, but when you're 2-0 up in 6 minutes, people go, every time we'll go forward, we'll score now. It's not FIFA and fucking beginner, they're gonna have a moment.
Can we just clip this and just have this on repeat for when he goes off on one?
But we won the game though, didn't we? We won the game. It's fine.
We're what? We're what?
We won, now.
Yeah.
But I know. Back to your first point though about back-to-back wins. I mean, it's just massive, isn't it? Huge. It's huge, and the league's so tight. There's seems to be 12 to 13 teams that are wedged close by so many points. And isn't I'm quite. I get a little bit tired sometimes. I know Chris does as well about people, we're only 6 points from this, and we're only 5 points from this, and we're only this and that. I get all of that. But actually, it's true, really, isn't it? Because you put back.
That's all that matters.
I know, but I think we're 2 points behind Chelsea and you put 4th or 5th.
Yeah, you put back-to-back wins together.
So we are now 2 points away from Chelsea, who are sitting 5th. But I mean, there's a host of teams pretty much around us that is all being the same. I think for all that were performances and the results haven't been necessarily mint this season by any stretch, the whole of the league seems to be struggling for consistency, which is helping us out massively.
Hugely,
it's one big run of games, and all of a sudden you're back into it. So then you get 2 wins, and here we are.
And that's exactly what it was like last season as well, when we had our really tough period of time, and we came out of that and went on and put a run together. There's no reason why we can't do the same.
It was a bit earlier.
It is so tight.
It was a bit earlier last year. By this time last season, we would really had would really start to hit our stride. Look at Palace. Palace were in the top 6 until I think the start of this year. It's only the 5th, and that's 14th, 15th now. It's that tight in there, and that's where, I mean, not kind of giving me the points for the next few home games that we've got. It's nice to have a couple of home games when the away form's been so hit and miss. And the home form, apart from Tottenham and Chelsea, we've won the last 8, 9. We've got a really good, and they were games that were threw away, So at home, we're looking really, really good at the minute.
Including the cup game, I think I've seen a stat. We're unbeaten in the last 7, and we've scored 2 goals in each of them games.
Yeah,
which I found was quite strange. Well, great though.
It's a shame you look at and I do it all the time. And I shouldn't because if my auntie had tits, etc. But you look at that late Tottenham goal, the Chelsea thing, Sunderland, the own goal, and you kind of, I'll put those points on the table in my head, and all of a sudden my second, or third maybe. But it's those little margins in it. But it's nice to have, we've got, was it Leeds this week, FA Cup the weekend, then Wolves have started winning. I'm nervous about Wolves.
Yeah. Well, at least we're not
one
going to
game. Let's not can crack us yet.
At least we're not going to be their first win. I think that was a positive. No, I kind of want to revisit like the whole sentiment of rounds, like where the fan base is kind of at later on. But I kind of want to talk about the game from yesterday specifically, and talk about the performance. 2 goals coming, of course. Relatively late on, of course. We've got Bruno and Chow both scoring scrappy goals to say the least. But I think it'd probably be safe to say that I don't think Palace were ever in any threat of contributing to that game.
They had one chance, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think it was Will Hughes, if I remember right, who puts one just
it's
wide.
A terrible effort, that mate.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought Shea done really well, but watching it again, it doesn't really have any effect. Maybe he hurries the chance on a little bit, but Hughes should do far better with that.
Yeah,
it's a good move as well.
A gilt-edged chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, coming into the box, that is a worry. Is the way he just ghosts himself in and arrives late without anybody picking up any sort of run, which
he does look quite ghostly,
from our. It's that pale skin, isn't it? Particularly this time of year. But we've been caught in games with that happening, with midfield kind of switching off a little bit, and it wasn't even switching off because it was pretty early in the game. It was still in the first half.
Yeah,
so it was right on half time.
Would have been a terrible time to concede.
A bit more alive to that, but equally, obviously, we had 2 goals disallowed as well.
Yeah.
So keeper pulls off a fantastic save in the first half, pulls off another one in the second half. So we did again create a lot of chances, albeit 2 of them got chalked out. That Wissa one Gordon one. I mean, that's so tight.
I wasn't glad that it got disallowed, but I was so relieved it was Wissa who was offside and not Gordon.
Yes.
Because I would have left the stadium. Like,
it was me. I literally, as soon as the goal went in, I was like, right, I'm going to quickly run for a piss. Came back and I seen the referee, and it was, it's been choked off. And I was like, somebody tell me that was Wissa that was offside and not actually Gordon.
That was a beautiful passage of play. That
really good.
It was amazing. I don't know if it's because I was in level 7, but and you just feel like you've got a bird's eye view of it, and and you just see in each pass, and it's in my head. I'm going, but just pass to him and just pass to him. But it's ground level. It's hard to do that. The move was beautiful, and Joelinton obviously set them away, and it was. I thought the first half
it was Hall at left back.
I did right back
into Joelinton, and then over.
I thought it was a scrappy first half. To be honest, I thought it was really stop and start, and that's because Palace played that way. They were taking forever on every set piece. They were taking forever on throw-ins, etc.
Time wasting in the first 5 minutes.
Well, it's the earliest I've seen someone booked for time wasting. That was 46, 47 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And they could have probably been booked earlier. But you know what it is, that's fine. They're entitled to do that, and it is what it is. But it was playing into their hands. I felt, I felt we were a bit sloppy. I thought Tonali and Hall was sloppy early on with the ball.
Yeah, Hall really struggled. I thought in the first half.
But listen, it was fine. And I mean that goal. The pass from Bruno was so lush. That pass through to him was lush. But we're going in at 0-0. I think that huge chance they're missing, because if they had a score there to go in 1-0 up, it could change the game. I still thought in the second half, even though they didn't test Pope at all from memory.
I think they had one shot. Pope saved down to his right. It was one that he should save, though.
There was a lot of times I felt there were 3-on-2, like breaking away. Certainly early on in the second half. But they did nothing with it. I thought Brendan Rodgers played very poorly for his debut. I think they were all. And I thought Chow did unbelievable against Mateta, because I like Mateta a lot, actually. And I just thought he bullied him all game, which is massive credit to him. But
Chow was excellent again.
He was amazing, unbelievable. But we'll go on to individual performances, of course, later. But no, it was. I definitely thought we deserved to win, without doubt. And I thought as the second half went on, I actually could have ran away with it. In truth, it could have been 4-5. Could have, it really could have.
Can I shock you with something that you just said there? Because I thought exactly the same. About
what, all the way through?
About Tonali giving the ball away.
Yeah.
Because it seemed that he constantly gave the ball away. Mm-hmm. Do you know he was the one midfielder that gave away the ball the least?
All right,
that is right.
It's weird that, because that was my perception.
Mad,
because watching it felt like he was a bit sloppy, a bit loose.
I think.
Well, I mean,
the ones that he lost,
Miley's midfielder as well, technically.
The ones that he lost, I feel, were all in the same, not passage of play, but within about a minute of each other. Does that make sense? Like 2 minutes of him losing the ball 5 times. Yeah. But then he never loses it again. But that's 5 minutes, or that couple of minutes, sorry.
I think it looked worse because it was in probably more dangerous positions, like giving it away in midfield, and they would break onto it and stuff like that. But Bruno was actually the worst. And now Joelinton.
I don't mind that with Bruno, because I always find Bruno's passes are trying to penetrate the opposite. They're trying to, like, I bet Shea's pass completion was a 0. But no offense to Shea, and I know Ian put it in the chat, and I was joking. I even laughed at it. Like 520 times he's trying to play this ball over the top. But I'll be honest with you, right? watching the game when he gets
that once it comes off,
there's-
isn't it?
there isn't much going on in front of him, you know. Truthfully,
Yeah.
there's not. So he'll go to Chow might come back to him, and he looks up and he's rolling the ball on his feet. And he's like, right, no one's moving.
He looks for the wing,
And then he's looking for Wissa, or maybe it was Gordon. So he's trying to play. I know it looks a bit Hollywood, but to be honest, he didn't have much else in front of him. But sometimes your past success rate might be shit. But when you've got players that are trying to make a difference in regards to the passing, then
before we
we
signed Tonali, I forget what I was reading. That was Kev Lawson or something like that. And we're saying about Tonali's pass completion for Milan wasn't brilliant because he tends to, similar to Shea, he tends to try and find, not so much for us, but in Milan he was trying to find those balls in the channels or over the top of wingers, whereas Newcastle's playing a bit deeper and it's not his game as much for us. He's still capable, but
I mean, he put a hell of a shift in, and I think for the goal that was offside, perhaps the second one, or maybe I think it was the second one. He does so much work for that. He chases back, wins the ball back, plays it to Bruno, which then plays the outside the foot or whatever it is. But anyway, I will just say one more thing about him, and then we'll move on to someone else or whatever. He was fuming when he came off, by the way.
Apparently so, yeah.
Fuming. Someone
chucked his coat.
Yeah, someone tried to give him a high five. I'm not sure who it was. It was either Tyndall or in that coat, and he just slapped that away. Then someone gave him a coat. He just threw his coat away. Like he was livid coming off.
Cold as well.
Which to be, I know, but to be fair, like I don't mind when a player's upset coming off. Like I'd rather him do that than come off and go best in the world. Thanks.
Do you think that was anger at him being taken off though, or a bit of frustration on his performance?
I think maybe a combination of both.
Possibly with the referee because he got kicked up height and touchline at one point, and he struggled for a good few minutes after that in the first half, and you might have thought he wasn't getting
come off for again.
Ramsey.
Oh, it was Ramsey. Yeah,
because it was a part of the treble sub, wasn't it? Ramsey for him.
Yes.
I'm going to do it now. Hang on. Who else was it?
Go on.
Willock.
Tino.
Tino came on for Hall
and Barnes for Gordon. What a difference! I thought Gordon had a really good first half. I thought the first half Gordon was. I'm going to fall short of saying excellent, but he caused a lot of bother. But the 5-10 minutes before he went off, he seemed to really lose the plot up. The yellow card he got, I thought, that could be. I'm saying it could be a red. Having only seen it happen in the stadium, and like it was.
It reminded
us a little bit of the Van Dijk one at the start of the season, where he's trying to make a tackle halfway. It hasn't gone, and he's just plowed into the bloke. And I thought, oh, Anthony.
What's your? We're going on another place here, and I apologise, but so what's your thoughts on? Because I have to agree with you. When Barnes came on, I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, he
was
honestly
really good. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Like looked so sharp. Had to beat him his man every time. Made some great runs off the ball, etc.
And that really, just on that really frustrated us because Gordon was loath to take the full back on. He just would never get a run at him. There was loads of times where he would pick the ball up, or he'd do that thing where he goes to make a run and then comes back for it.
Was it Klein on the right last night?
He just wouldn't.
It was, but then he subbed him quite early. Actually, it felt quite early in the game.
Changed.
But I'm part of us always thinks Barnes should probably start. And I have to come on to Murphy later on. But I'll let you host the show and get back to me. But I have to come back to Murphy, right? But anyway, I just feel Barnes really does seem to have an impact off the bench, though. I always feel when he comes on, he seems to be better coming off the bench than starting.
Yeah.
Wait, the first season when we first signed him, he really was like that, wasn't it? Every single time he came off the bench, he seemed to actually be doing something. So I think it does make a difference in that sense. But I think we'll keep Murphy for a little bit actually because I would love a story. Storytelling around that.
That's going to take quite some unpicking.
Yeah. But a lot of people are kind of talking about it. Maybe want to, and not picking the negatives, but one of Lewis Hall's weaker games as of recent, but I think he's probably earned quite a few points in the bank at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, even though it was one of his weaker games, there was one point where he drove forward and kind of, did he win a free kick? Or no, he gave a free kick away because he got tackled and kind of, it was a bit of a 50-50 thing.
That was never a free kick to their mind.
I don't know. Again, I thought, because I've only seen it once, I've not seen it back again. I thought it looked like the fella got a tackle and he might have gone over the top. So I was a little bit, I was nervous.
That's the load.
Well, the referee came and had a word with him. I thought, like, oh God, is he gone off here or something? But obviously wasn't the case. Like, but yeah, it was from early on. He just didn't seem to settle. He gave the ball away a lot. I thought Palace seemed to target him. Henderson played a lot of long balls in that direction.
He's pretty good in the air, though, isn't he?
He's not bad,
like for his height specifically. Anyway,
Henderson's kicking, by the way. I know we seem to be obsessed with goalkeepers. You can wallop a ball, him like.
Oh, I really wallop
big
one.
Style.
Yeah. I was actually that guy. Away from that for a second, but the guy with the throw-ins as well.
Yeah,
he was taking throw-ins from the halfway line, man. They were almost at the half, and he was getting them in the box.
I mean, it took him 3 weeks to take them, but he was.
He's not his running on Barrack Road, and he's coming down the tunnel and all.
But I did think Hall did start poorly, but I still think he had an okay game.
Yeah.
But I think as well, he's been
just
playing,
the expectation, isn't it? Like
it is because he's so good. But he's playing a lot of games. He had that ankle injury or that knock, the week before. or the game before, whenever that was. Sorry. And the games are coming so thick and fast, aren't they? And I agree with you. I think you said there that if anyone can have it's okay to have an off one. I mean, you don't want anyone to have an off one, but
no, of course,
he's been so good for us.
Yeah, you can kind of, it's not going to affect how you think of him. Although Tino looked a bit rusty when he came on, you could tell he'd missed a few games. His position was a little bit off a couple of times.
Important minutes that, him coming on, I thought.
Massive.
I know it's only 10 or 15, but it's important.
That's one thing with him having so many.
He was going to come on as well until Murphy got, so he was stripped.
Aye,
ready to come on until Murphy went down injured.
Right, do you know where
then had to change the sub?
You know why I think they changed it, right? Truthfully, right? Did you see that guy at half time won the Vegas trip?
Aye.
Who was the first person that went and congratulated him?
Of course.
That's why he didn't come. He's packing his bag. He's got a drink.
I still think he should have got 2 more shots at that as well. He could have won 3 holidays.
Because there was another one that was waiting to take one as well.
He even said, "Oh, you're not coming with this. I'm taking my last."
Sorry, mate. Sorry,
it's all right. No, we're not talking about this specific on that one. But when we're talking about the game, second half was obviously significantly better. We kind of started to crack on. Is that the kind of? I want to say it's one of those performances where I don't think we were mint by any stretch. I thought we were okay. Is that the kind of performance though that we're all right with that? We'll get the result. It's an okay performance. We've kind of done it back-to-back games now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Burnley and the Palace game. The important thing is getting points on the board. We have at times struggled to win dirty, and when we haven't played at our best, we've done that 2 games running, because we cannot say we were brilliant in those 2 games, probably bar the first 10 minutes against Burnley where we did look it. So coming out of those in a period which even Howe went on to say, this could be a season defining run of games that we're going on, because they are so important at the minute from a league position. The fact that we've got another semi-final, we've then got the cup coming up, we've got the Champions League on the back of that as well in qualification. So it is a really important run of games that we've got. So getting those 6 points and having that nice run of home games to be able to go into as well, it just gives that little bit of confidence and a little bit of lift.
Yeah.
And hopefully just, settles people down a little bit.
Getting lads back as well, having like Wissa and Walter now kind of dovetail a little bit, one on the bench, one starting. I think we've got 17 games in January and February this year.
It's insane.
It's a huge amount of football before springtime.
Even I'm getting a bit sick of them playing every time. I mean, God, because I was going out the ground on Sunday and then I was going to say, on Wednesday, and fucking hell. It just seems like every 5 minutes.
I'd completely forgot we're playing on Wednesday.
Then
going to the match and it's like, and then we're going like Wednesday, and I was like, oh God, hi.
I just want to. The reason I smiled there, what he just said there, about like sometimes you have to pinch yourself. Like he's on about, semi-finals of a cup competition coming up. We've got a Champions League games to go. Like, so it is. Like it's all right. Like.
You'd much rather have a lot of games, including those ones, than
could be a lot worse.
A midweek off where we're not playing PSV. Or
if we're getting beat off Burnley or thingy, I wouldn't have said this. You win back-to-back games, you take the world on. But there is a lot of games, and I agree with them in terms of their confidence. But to your point about winning ugly, like we've talked about consistency in the league, there isn't any, is there?
None.
So
no, not at all.
If we can just start to show a little bit of consistency, get a few back-to-back results, and I know it wasn't great yesterday, but truthfully, I do feel once we scored. It could have been any score. Like, I mean, Willett misses the best chance of all time. Barnes had loads of opportunities where he gets in and just that final pass let him down or whatever it may be. Honestly, I think it could have been 3 or 4 towards the end of that game.
And that's been a reoccurring theme for us, is that final pass, that final shot. And that's why we have struggled at times because even when we are, I hate to say it, the Man United game, where we are really, camped on the edge of a box, having that little bit of something,
I agree,
just completely changes that game and flips it on its head. So to go into those 2 games, which I don't know, would you call them must win? Probably not, but it feels that it was important to win them.
Well, I'd rather be 9th in the table, 2 points off 5th, than if we hadn't won them, if we'd lost both games, like we're all of a sudden 7 points off 5th, we're 15th, 16th in the table, so it's every win is as important as the next one, and but if we beat Leeds are looking all right at the minute. That's the big physical side and all that.
In 6 or 7,
if we can beat them, all of a sudden we've won 3 in a row in the league, including an away game, and then you're going to the FA Cup weekend thinking, God, we're in a good run where we're one of the form teams in the league here.
If you win 3 in a row,
it'll but it's very easy to kind of look at what fixtures now and say how doable that actually is. I think everyone's sort of seen what fixtures in January, specifically in the Premier League, with home games like these. Like I think it's the run of 4, obviously, coming up, that we think you could get every single point for one of those games if we do play to our ability, which has always been the problem. Let's maybe talk about the goals specifically. First one, obviously Bruno coming in. finding that little bit of a header in the end. Honestly, I must have been mortal yesterday. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. But
starts from a free kick.
Yeah,
free kick comes in from the right-hand side, goes out to
The
Bonds, I think.
Bonds
And Miley
puts it
does
well.
well.
Miley does very, very well.
Yeah.
Just have that awareness, just to dink it back into the middle, and Bruno's there.
It's a lovely ball in from Barnes.
It's excellent. It really is a good
and really
ball,
nice. And as you say, Miley, I love to see a right back or a right winger, whatever it may be, following into the back post.
Just recycling it, getting the ball back across again,
just hoping to find someone. And Bruno,
That was
popping in.
completely his intention as well, because you can tell by the shape of his body, the way his foot, he's putting that into that danger area, not like, because some people will try and flash one or try and take that shot straight away. His intention is, I'm in a difficult place here. I can put it into a dangerous area.
And I love to see when midfielders getting in the box. I love that. I really do. And I've been very critical that I don't really see that enough. But I'm really pleased for Bruno as well, because like he is the driving force. He just is like.
But to that point as well, the one against Burnley, Joelinton goal straight off the bat. Player in from the midfield in the box.
And I think he may have, even in the second goal, so I might be in Joelinton, sorry, on that Burnley one, started the move, but there was another midfielder in the box which caused Bruno caused the trouble for the keeper to fumble it and miss a score. I'm sure it was Bruno.
Yeah, it was Bruno.
I think he might have pushed him in the back, which he didn't. But again, players in the box.
Yep.
You do, if you're not going to score a goal, that's what I've been moaning about Wissa and Voltamir. I've been starved. And it's really nice to see that. And I'm just so happy for Bruno. You see how much it means to him. And there's been
I was a bit disappointed by the number of celebrations he did.
Was it about 4?
He only did 6.
Toned it down a bit.
He loves it, doesn't he? I think he scored 8 goals, I believe. And I think it's
done a nice little run. 7 or 8.
It's his highest return.
Specifically in the Premier League, 7 goals, 4 assists so far this season, which I think I don't want to say it was a criticism, but sometimes you would think, I would love to see him chip in a little bit more, or our midfield in general, just chip in a little bit more. But he really is doing that job, and I've got him in my fantasy team as well, which is always very handy.
He's getting himself into much more dangerous positions.
Yeah.
Like in the box, like in those kind of places. And obviously the second one is a little bit more of a scramble. But again, it's the intent of the team trying to all get in there. The Big Nick had just came on literally seconds before we score, which I think maybe distracts them a little bit as well, because they're worrying about the height of him. Speaking of height, Joelinton, I thought was absolutely unbelievable.
His best game
he
of the
won
season.
every single header from a defensive point of view. And again, he was right in the midst of that second goal as well. And just the commitment from it. There was probably 3 or 4 of our players that could have put that one in over the line where it drops, but just drops the chow. And he just takes it really, really nicely.
He's bottoming up with a couple, isn't he?
He has done it. That was his first goal at home.
At home, yeah.
He's got 2 at Everton.
To be fair. But again, I mean, God, he was immense yesterday.
He's so good.
Chow.
He was immense yesterday. Like, as was another player I will come on to later, but just for Chow for a minute, there was, I don't know if you remember, in the second half, it's unbelievable. He's sort of battling with Mateta for a bit, and he like lobs it over his head. It was quite high up, I will say that. And then he like runs around him and just takes it down, then brings it out. I'm like, hang on, it was unbelievable what he did there. But he marshaled him all game, because I think he's a good player.
Mateta's really good.
And I thought the same. I think he is a good player.
Yeah, he's dangerous.
He got nothing. Absolutely
He's
no change.
So good on the ball. And to come to someone else who was amazing on the ball, I thought Miley.
Unbelievable.
Again,
best player on the pitch.
He was unbelievable.
We'll start going into the players in that case, then we'll go with Miley to kick things off there. Like, I think what was at the stats we were talking about before. I don't want to delve too much into them. What was it? 59 of 59 passes.
Yeah, 100%.
All completed. That doesn't happen a lot.
Well, I think the stat is that he's the only Premier League player this season to have done it.
Yeah.
Have 100% passing success rate. And like, as I referenced to you just before we started, like, there was loads of times where I'm going to criticize Murphy before we really get to it, but there was a lot of times where Shaw would give the ball to Miley. He'd get it out his feet, look down the line. Murphy doesn't want to even know that he's on the pitch, Murphy. So he has to come back and recycle it. So there's a few passes, of course, he's just starting again. But there was some, especially in the second half, where he looked like he was in a bit of trouble. He's getting pressed from all angles, and he's managing to get his way out of trouble and then find a forward pass, not just a recycling pass, a forward pass.
Yeah.
I thought he was immense. And again, I said this when he first went to right back. I was worried about his lack of pace. That was something I was a bit. It just doesn't seem to bother him.
He reads the game.
He's quicker at right back.
I think he reads the game that well.
So
Just knows where to be.
Yeah. So impressed with him, honestly.
Brilliant.
For how to
for a young lad as
how
well.
to realise that he's able and he's got the skills to play there. That's pretty immense. I still feel because you're putting no one at the start of the season when it went Miley will be a cover for right back.
Like, this is this year's Joelinton going.
It's kind of it's mad, isn't it?
Expect to see Dan Burn goal in a few years' time.
And I know he's not going to stay there, but
but to me, I think it's like you kind of look at Trippier and see like his composure. He kind of reminds me of like that in a certain sense that he's like his passing ability, obviously completely different stature, that kind of thing. But the way that he can find the ball so often and he has so much composure for like being the age he is as well. Yeah. He always looks like he's got like with 3 years on the ball.
What you find now in the modern game, especially all of them really, but your fullbacks in the modern, you have to be comfortable on the ball. Like, and he is exactly that. Like he never, ever seems to panic. No matter how many players are pressing him at one time, he'll just recycle it, he'll turn around. And you know, he may do a mistake coming up, right? But that it doesn't take away from the fact of just how comfortable and confident he is in that position. And obviously, Tino comes back. That would be amazing for us to have another option in midfield, you know, because obviously, I think Miley, he's undroppable for me. Like, you can't drop him in this form.
You'd be very unlucky to be dropped. Like, but then, I mean, do you give Sandro a bit of a rest? Because Sandro's looking a bit, apart from obviously having my highest passing completion apparently in the middle of the park, which is straight away I'm talking myself out with this one. But yeah, I mean, Joelinton coming back, and Joelinton made a massive difference yesterday.
But you go back, 3 or 4 games, the one in midfield that you take out is Joelinton.
Absolutely is, yeah. But then when you come up against, say, we've got Leeds on Wednesday night, and you want to have Joelinton in the middle of the park later because they are a good, strong physical side. Leeds, big boys. Joelinton give Longstaff a bit of a pick up and a shake.
I met Scotty and Dasmo in the bar afterwards, and she was in that, and that says, I am never going to ever criticise Joelinton again. I love him, and I know there's a few times we've been on here, he's not the same. Is it maybe time now that, we'll upgrade on him? Nah, I'm sorry, nah. Like, he's too good.
Well, because there was rumours that Saudi clubs are interested in him in January, but players like that, I think it was probably fair for people to have criticism of the past couple of months. He's not been there this season. He really hasn't been there at all. But that was more like it yesterday, like where you're expecting.
It's back-to-back games he's done it. I think he's one of the best players at Burnley. And maybe that's because he's slightly over the knocks and the injuries he's got. Maybe he's becoming more full fitness, and you're seeing that physical presence again. And he's running with the ball well. I thought his usage of the ball was great. He was just brilliant again. And to Mark's point, defensive headers, defensive. Like there was a few corners them got, and he was the one that won them.
First man every time, was he? I thought that obviously the goal in week he took that very well. The disallowed goal, I thought was an excellent finish as well. Where he passes that into the.
I'll tell you what it reminded us of was the goal he scored against Tottenham. When Shea plays the ball over the top and he just takes it the outside of the touch, the inside of his foot, and it just he kills it and goes on Loris. It reminded the touch is a bit different, but it reminded us loads of that. The run he made the ball and just being able to kill the ball, then passing the bottom corner.
I do want to reference that. I did notice a lot certainly in the first half when we were in possession at the back. Joelinton was right up front with Wissa. Yeah, right up front. Obviously, when we lost the ball, he took back in, but he was almost like a second striker a few times, which I thought was quite interesting. Because we need help up there.
Well, he's a more of a target, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Again, not going back. I far prefer Nick Pope to Ramsey, which is Ramsey, beg pardon, definitely Ramsey. But Pope's kicking. Pope tends to just play it long. He doesn't necessarily seem to play for somebody. He just plays it long down the middle and hopes. Because a few times it's gone. And I heard some grumbles yesterday, but his ball's in the air for that long that someone could be
surprised.
Someone could be coming in and getting ahead in it, but he just seems to get it.
He almost hits his zone rather than a man.
That's right, yeah. Whereas if you've got Joelinton in that zone, then all of a sudden you've got a real threat because you flicks on and Wissa. I thought Wissa played well again. I'm kind of going on the whole team here, but the way he stretches the defence, we just don't seem to be able to find him. Yeah. But he made really loads and loads of runs.
So many runs.
There was one where him and Gordon were attacking the Gallowgate in the second half, and the defender was just in between the two of them. And it reminded us of the one against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago where Gordon tried to play it in. We were winning 2-1. And it went straight to keeper. Then they scored like immediately afterwards. I think Gordon probably had that in mind because Wissa was free, but it's not easy to get the ball through to him. But Wissa did. He was a bit of a menace last night.
Howe has to just keep saying to him is keep making them runs. Because you can get a bit disheartened by not getting the ball. You'll then can subconsciously start coming short.
Yeah,
because you're not finding it that way, so you'll come short for the ball. No, just keep on the last.
He made reference to that in his post match as well, because he was talking about his moves and stuff like that. And he says the players will get used to playing with him, and those passes will start finding him, and he'll get the chances. But yeah, you're right. The movement that he had, the little runs that he was making was fantastic. I do also have to say, Mark Gahey was unbelievable.
He was excellent.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Annoyingly,
it's like. I've never seen a defensive performance like that on somebody who's gone and got beat 2-0. Like he did not deserve to concede goals the way that he played. But it just shows you like what a tough afternoon Wissa did have, but still was able to look quite bright in and around playing against a player like that.
Was anyone a bit surprised that he started? I was thinking after a few days ago, like I pretty much thought that Nick would have been starting on top. But surprising to see him go again. But that's good for his fitness as well, though, to see that he can't start 2 games in a row.
Brilliant. I just want to remember the bench yesterday was one of the strongest I've seen in a long, long time. You know,
it was only Alex Murphy. That wasn't
not sure about the fitness side of things, but the names on the bench were certainly
they're coming back. You know, and it just felt strong. But I definitely agree with you. I thought it would have been big Nick.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I think we'll see changes Wednesday, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. You would think so. Let's move on to the one that we did want to talk about, though, and Jacob Murphy's performance yesterday. And my story from that is there was a moment in the first half where we were attacking down the right hand side. I do sit in the east stand. Nobody have a go at me for that. These things happen. But we were attacking down the right hand side.
Most noise he's made all week.
Well, this is the thing. So straight away, there was a moment where he was offside, and it felt like it took him 20 minutes to get himself back on, and then they tried to play a pass. He's interfered with the play, and like
the entire ground could see he was offside as well, and he made no attempt, did he?
I sit pretty close to the front, and I was dead in line with it. I had a right fucking go at him. I didn't realize somebody at the halftime said, "Do you see Murphy turn around and said something to you?" Apparently, he had a right fucking pop. I was like, I was too concerned because there was a wife sitting, there was a woman sitting with a kid in front of us, and she turned around. She wasn't very happy because I was shouting and swearing on, in absolute fairness, as with the rest of the ground at the same time. So she wasn't very happy with me. I was too busy paying attention to that. But I apparently had a pop. But honestly, I don't mind Jacob Murphy. I think he definitely has a purpose in the team to a certain degree. But that is one of the worst performances I've seen from him, full stop, ever.
The worst thing for me, and he does it quite often, was the amount of 50-50s and tackle he jumped out the way of, or pulled out of, or didn't make an attempt to. That is unforgivable.
Yeah, I know.
He's been built.
This one, I'm sorry, but so to Mark's point about 50-50s, but where I noticed it more so was the are 50-50s, but not in a tackling sense. What I mean is, say there's a ball over the top and the ball's bouncing, and you're probably favourite to get that ball if you want it. He will not get it. He will not race for that ball, and he was allowing the defender to catch it, and he's pretending to make it look like he's trying to get the ball. But you could hear the crowd 3 or 4 times this happening. The crowd really started getting good. You can get that ball if you want to get it.
It's not making any attempt to do it.
Well, it's like a half-assed attempt to go, well, I'm trying here, but we know you can get there, mate.
There's one of the first half where it's going over the top, and Gay deals with it, and Murphy's like 10-15 yards to his right. And I thought it was, when someone has a shot going where we sit, Mark, me and you, and it's going to, we're attacking the Leeds, and the ball kind of seems to stop in the air, and you don't know which way it's gone until you see it bounce. I thought it was like that. I thought it was like a trick of the eye, because I thought, well, how's he so far away? Has he misjudged it? Yeah. And it was just he didn't appear to have any interest. And I don't want to sit here and have a go at Murphy, because he's had a bad game.
The game well, as well,
He's had a bad game, and that's what happens sometimes. Over to you, Decker.
It was worse than bad. It was just.
I counted 5 times. I can just count at 5. That Miley was getting that ball out wide on the right back, and he was turning to look down the line, and Murphy was just disappearing. No intention of coming for the ball short, no intention of going. He was just disappearing, didn't want the ball at all. The other thing he keeps doing, he needs to stop this as well. He tries to play this blind pass with his left foot, with his back towards their goal, if that makes sense. Let's not get it right. It's tough because he's getting the ball played in the feet. He's probably got their fullback on his arse, but he'll blindly just pass the ball into the middle of the pitch. He lost it 3 times by doing that. It's really dangerous to do that as well. But it's his pea heart I've got a problem with. He's got a pea heart. I'm sorry. He will not tackle. He will not any 50-50, even 60-40 is in his favour. He just won't do it. Now, if you give him all the time in the world, he will put a good ball over. I am not denying that fact. But there's a lot. See, it's funny because I questioned him not playing the derby, right? And when I watched that first half, I think, actually, that's why he didn't play. Because maybe I was thinking, you ain't gonna put your foot in. Like, I'm sorry, he's not.
Not to come up with all the excuses, but Callum putting a comment in here. Murphy has to be hiding an injury, hence why he doesn't chance for the ball.
Well, then he shouldn't be staying on the pitch till the 70th minute. How on the hell on this earth did he stay on that field? When he put this when I seen Barnes warm up, I went, oh well, either Barnes is going right wing here.
Everybody in the stadium thought that was happening.
I couldn't believe it. Murphy stayed on. I was like, we've done really well. We're 10 men so far to be still in the game. But I could not believe he stayed on the field. I have to say that.
It was a few times where the pitch was there in front of him. He just wasn't making the run. I think
how many times did he have space in behind the fullback and he just would not make a run for a simple ball over the top or up the line for him to chase down? and he would not move.
Ramsey got caught in possession, but Ramsey got the ball, running forward with the ball, and there was 3 of them coming towards him, and Ramsey lost it. And the fans turned on Ramsey for a second. He ran back. It wasn't Ramsey's fault. Murphy just stopped. If Murphy kept, you could see him going, move, like you could see him body language. If you run and play her in, he wouldn't move, he wouldn't run. And then Ramsey lost the ball, and the fans kind of got on Ramsey's back a little bit for losing it. But that was like old Murphy. The Murphy I used to sit here and get angry about back in the Rafa days. That's what I've seen there for a good
I said, because Daryl was stood with us yesterday, and I turned to Daryl and I went, this is prime Jacob Murphy. This is this is the performance where you know he's absolutely dog shit, and he'll pop one in the top corner. You know, because we've seen that from him. Where he's been awful, but he'll then pull out a fantastic assist with the cross, or he'll score or something like that. And it's kind of like, you know, you're trying to balance out the two, but
I'm not going to say
honestly, just there was none of that positive side of it.
So we did really well win with 10 men.
We did
well. So, but that was without doubt the worst. And I mean, even you're shouting and bawling. Do you know what I mean? So like, you know,
and I'm not typically like that. I mean, don't get us wrong, I'm vocal, but like I was surprised he actually turned around, and I was like, apparently he turned around and said, "What do you want us to do?" I was like, "Well, get on side for a start."
You're right though. He did that more than once as well, where he was making an attempt, but then wasn't coming back. It was just a really strange performance. Maybe it was too
really strange, really strange. But
just to pick on a point that Callum made though about the fitness side of thing and not going into a 50-50. Tino did that when he came on.
He did. I
can understand that.
Yeah,
because mentally you're just coming back from a tricky injury. You know, he's not quite fit. He probably doesn't want to put himself into that position. Murphy hasn't got that excuse
that we know of.
He's been playing plenty of games. If he's fit enough to start a game, he's fit enough to play 90 minutes.
Yeah,
you've got to show a bit of heart and a bit of effort and put your foot in there. At least try. That was the unforgivable bit. The effort, the trying just didn't seem to be there.
Trying to think of any other like standout performances for me. Again, Bruno, very, very good. I mean, Miley for me is
Joelinton and Chow with their 3
has really been taking the cake recently. But I think, you know, we can kind of finish it up there on the game if you want. One thing I did want to talk about today though is like, I know there's the Joe Willock chance. We haven't really spoke about that. I don't even think we really need to.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. What I would say as well, though, to see the abuse that he got is insane. What are we doing? It is now 2026. Can we just pack that shite in? For the love of God. Kind of leads us in some of the negative feelings still within the fan base. And I don't want to come across as a happy clapper here, even though I slightly am. But at the same time, I think it feels as if there's still a lot of people. Like I'll give you an example. So I'm in a group chat with some of the lads, and some of them are the most negative blokes on the planet. I get it. But then one of them came in, and the first thing I seen after just won 2-0, won 2 back-to-back games, Jesus Christ, Joe Willock shite. And it's just like first thing, and I'm like, are we at that point now? Are we just all winding ourselves up? We haven't been good this season. Things are getting better, but is everybody just like everything that happens now just seems to have a negative connotation around it?
It's kind of the context of what's happened. I think seems to be lost a little bit. Everyone's either brilliant or shite. There's no in between.
That's
no
kind of the point.
There's no like it's like where I said it here. Mark, all right, go ahead, because Mark's like that. Where I said, I forget which game it was now, but Willock was okay. He wasn't brilliant. He wasn't spectacular. It was what the Fulham Cup match, I think it was.
Yeah, but
he was tidy. He carried the ball well. He played it well. He didn't put it in the top corner from 35 yards. Nor did he trip over there with Jacob Ramsey and fall over the ball on the edge of the box unchallenged. He was just all right, and that's kind of it's okay to just be all right sometimes. Like not every game's gonna have like I don't know. Jacob Murphy scoring that one from the corner flag last season, like which is kind of yeah.
But that's kind of been our results, though, hasn't it? It's like the past 2 games. Even I'm guilty of it. The Burnley game, I was sitting there like watching that, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is an awful watch. But then we're winning games though now, and things are going better. And as you said, we're in the semi-final of the League Cup, still in the Champions League with a really good chance of going through. You'd like to think we're still in the FA Cup. We're climbing up the table, but I'm still seeing loads of negativity all over them. Twitter is probably the worst place to actually use an example, but it's still quite
it's
heavy.
Really hard to put your finger on it. Like,
yeah,
I'm with you. I honestly understand because I've felt quite negative or like it's not working out this season, whatever it may be. But And I don't know if it's because we've been spoiled maybe over the previous years where we've literally blew the doors off teams and we're right up there, you know, thinking of thirds and fourths and stuff, but we have been 14th and 13th for a lot of the season. It could be that. Maybe some of the performances haven't been great, but what does annoy is that though. So in the moment, people can be negative, right? And I'm sometimes with that, and I'll sit here and say how bad the performance has been, and tactically we haven't done this. You should be playing 2 up top, all that shite. But when you've won 2 games in a row, to go straight into people's chats and say things like "Willock's shite," that's the stuff that's tough, isn't it? Because you're like, come on, like we're doing all right. We've had a good performance there. We've won a game that but we've got back-to-back wins, and then that's the first thing you come in with. And I have no answer as to why. I don't. But
it's because they're doubling down on the opinion that it's just everything shite about this season. So they can't even when, like you will, Maxi. Just say we've. No, but I would. When he had a good game, I would say he'd had a good game. But you can still be disappointed in the performance because we weren't brilliant, but we won. Sometimes you just have to take that and say, well, that is the bigger picture here, is that we've got 3 points from that game. Yes, there's moments in them. Willock should have scored. Everybody knows Willock should have scored.
He'll know.
It's exactly, and that's the thing. You don't need to point it out.
See, I will say what I've why I'm happier than what I was, say, 3 weeks ago. There's not many games, of course, probably yesterday, but the Man United game, for example, was dog poor in terms of chances created. I mean, we had all the ball, but you're losing 1-0, and it was really frustrating, that game. And I was so annoyed again that striker starve and not creating chances, etc. But then I think the Burnley game, everyone was saying, God, we have to win this game. We can't win away from home, so we'll have to start winning away from home. This is a must-win game. Almost to the tune of, don't really care how we win, we need to win.
Yeah.
You then score 3 goals, and it's still not enough. It's shit, and it's this, and I'm like, oh, come on, you're like, you know. And I was actually quite happy because I thought we had loads of chances in the Burnley game. So I was more glass half full of, we've scored 3, we could have maybe had 4 or 5. Don't get us wrong, them could have scored as well. I'm not denying that. But we created chances where I've been pissing them on that we're not creating anything. And that's why yesterday, again, I thought we had loads of chances yesterday, which is the positive sign. So that's me trying to be glass half full, I'd say.
No, and I do try to be the same, but I think we're all guilty of kind of getting caught up in it, isn't it? It's really easy to be like, oh, Jesus Christ, this, or Jesus Christ. But I feel as if, like, yesterday, there was definitely some positivity. We've had some positivity at the Burnley. Yeah, okay, the Burnley, again, I'll sit there and say, I think my problem with the Burnley game is I just hated watching it. Like, it was just not a good watch.
You'll either choose to pick the positives out of the game and think, great, look at that. This is what's happened. Or you'll choose to focus on the negative things in the game. If you're going to sit and choose to focus on the negative all the time, you're going to have a terrible, terrible time watching the football, and you're not going to enjoy it.
I don't know how people live their lives like that.
No, getting beat off Sunderland doesn't help, man. Getting beat off Sunderland doesn't help.
I was going to say that. I think that adds a different kind of bit of perspective to more context of it. Especially when, that was the Sunderland Man U games, winnables, and the Man U won. The goal was like a half chance. Took it really well, Dorgu, but it's a half chance. We should have defended better. The Sunderland goal, Walter Mata, incredible header from like 16 yards out of the crossbar, and in. Other than that, did Ramsdale have much to do? No, it's games that we've lost where really we could have had 6 points in those 2 games.
Yeah, there's loads of games I think we've won.
I'm glad he didn't have much to do.
I mean, in previous games, in previous seasons gone by, when everything's been rosy, we have played shit and won 1-0.
Oh yeah,
totally. But then no one cares how bad the game was. You've won, right?
That's kind of what we've done.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's a flip reverse now. It was a shit game, but we didn't exactly, I would say, deserve to lose in certain angles of certain games. But when you lose, right? And you're like, well, shit, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, you know. And it's just, I just think that Sunderland game, I'm not going to go as far as Sunderland doing well is impacting. I mean, it does to me, but not everyone. Not everyone's like me. But maybe losing that game in that sort of period hasn't helped people's feeling, I don't think.
Yeah, compounded it, didn't it?
You know what I mean? Yeah,
the performance as well.
I get all of that, but if you can't be happy that we'll win, then there's something wrong with you.
I definitely feel as a part of some people, though, there's definitely some people who are like, oh, well, no, God's sake, the how upgrade, I hate it.
That's the problem I'm with you there. I think that there's a majority now would rather see fail to prove themselves right, which is it's awful.
Well, one of them's way to Scotland this weekend.
Stuck the banner up there.
That's why he's not here. He didn't want to sit on the back of 2 wins.
Yeah.
He told me I had to be the positive Chris. That was the how in. Yeah, that's what he told me when I turned up. But I mean, that's 2 wins off the bounce. And now heading into the Premier League, our next game is Leeds at home on Wednesday. I'm actually not able to make it in, to be honest. I feel like I've not been away from the stadium, frankly. But another massive opportunity. This one. I mean, Leeds have been good. I think you're right saying unbeaten in 6. I think is
something
right.
like that. Yeah.
Still a massive opportunity for another 3 points though.
Yeah, I mean, for all Leeds have done well by the standards that they would have kind of set themselves at the start of the season, or their own expectations for a newly promoted club. It's in James's Park where we'd won something like 7 out of 9, 5 out of 7, and those two
last 7
were the Chelsea and Tottenham games where we threw it away both times basically. Yeah, and without, again, I don't think we've played really brilliantly apart from the first half against Chelsea, a bit the second half against Leverkusen. I don't think we've been like up to what we would consider.
Man City,
you could probably argue, yeah. Well, not been brilliant probably all season, really. Like, in a game where we had to be. But yes, it's weird because of I'm quite a positive. I'm same as Chris. I probably get accused of being a happy clapper for a lot of stuff I come out with. But there's still that little gnawing doubt at the back of my mind, like, oh, we haven't been very good. And if Leeds can turn up, I think the worst game that ever happened at Elland Road back in August, September, whenever it was.
Well, he could have been out on his arse, Farker, not quite recently, but he's changed formation and they've been a different animal since he's done that. They've went to 3 at the back, and almost 5, but 3 at the back, really.
Big boys as well.
I mean,
big lads.
I watched them against Liverpool.
Physical, strong team.
Yeah.
They were brilliant against
They're not
Liverpool.
going to be a pushover.
No, they're a good side. They keep great possession as well.
Look, they haven't lost a game since the 29th of November.
Yeah, I think it's 7 games in a row.
Yeah.
They're a good side, they're all right. And they've got, ironically, the player that we talked about we didn't want, or it was Calvert-Lewin.
I thought Longstaff
they're giving him the service. Well, Longstaff hasn't been playing, to be fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, it will be tough. And I always just feel when there's this many games, to try and get that performance out of the team is tough, like, because there's that many games. And that's when I think banana skins and stuff and defeats happen, because, I mean, even looking at the league recently, I could be wrong when I say this, but I feel there's a hell of a lot of 0-0s, there's a hell of a lot of draws. And I think it's down to the fact that they're playing so many games, man. And the sort of the intensity in that isn't there. And that's why grinding out results when they're so thick and fast is huge. Like,
there was one day, I forget which game it was over Christmas, where it might even be yesterday, where every game that we weren't involved in was a draw. It was 4 or 5, and it was like 0-0, 0-0, 1-1, 1-1. Yeah. And it has been, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that the league table's as tight as it is at the minute. Like we said earlier, 5-6 points between 5th and 14th, 15th. That's after 20 games. You wouldn't say it's unheard of, but it's not often that it goes this long without kind of stretching out. And there's only the top 3 that you could say are really Liverpool, Man City, and Villa, isn't it? Top 3? Yeah. No, Arsenal, Man City, and Villa.
Liverpool aren't that much further ahead, I don't think.
Liverpool are 4th, aren't they? And then Chelsea behind them. The kind of bottom 3 or 4 are adrift, and everyone else is in the middle, really. It's
in regards to Wednesday, do you feel there'll be a lot of changes, or do you think a couple, or?
Couple, I would say.
I think Big Nick will come in. Bonds will probably start.
I think Big Nick, more likely.
Alanga's not fit though, is he? So
no.
Is that why he didn't come on yesterday?
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just how's kind of.
Was he on the bench?
No.
All right, I didn't.
Was he? Did he have flu or something? He wasn't injured, was he though? Previously,
I think he's injured. Is he?
Is he injured? I thought he just had flu or something. He didn't feel well or something. He didn't.
Because ironically, the way that game panned out yesterday, he probably would have been in with the amount of space, because I mean, obviously their left back, who I think has had a very good season to date, was getting forward a lot, which is then when they play that 3 at the back, Gay will come in and drop across to the left hand side.
Right, yeah.
But there was times where he was then playing on the left wing because he knew he could, because Murphy was then not getting in behind and not hitting that space. Had Alanga have been available, I think we probably would have seen him and might have actually got something from an Alanga performance, hopefully, out because of the amount of space that was there to be exploited.
He couldn't have done any worse than Murphy, so
Overlook with that chance at the end.
Yeah. I just haven't know. Apparently, House said he took a knock against Chelsea and still hasn't been right since. I want to say it's quite a while ago. It's really not.
It feels like this.
It was pre-Christmas, wasn't it? It was the Sunday before Christmas.
I think so. Yeah, the 21st, 22nd, whatever that was.
I do think Wissal get rested this time. We might still see him in the game. I just mean you're not.
Oh yeah, I think Walton might probably start him. I think he probably keeps Miley at right back for the time being, because Tino will not be quite there yet.
Yeah, I think you might see.
Do you not
Tino Hall?
Again, with Hall going off, he could do something with.
Yeah, I'm thinking that
with Tino across at the.
I don't know if he brought Hall off early to keep him for Wednesday night. To be honest with you, give him that extra half hour rest. Yeah, I think
protect them a little bit.
But I think Joelinton starts again because Leeds being quite a physical bunch of lads.
I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Shea, because I do think he's looking his age, and we're asking him again to play another game, trotting him out here. I mean, if Botman's not fit, there's not much we can do. Like, I'm just saying, it just worries a bit.
He's on the bench when he
was
Botman.
back on the
He was
bench.
on the bench.
Yeah,
he was on
Nice
the bench.
touch with Shea's shirt as well, the 250 on the chest.
Yes.
I'd never seen that before.
Oh, you have it on during the game as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought that was someone I just put that on. Like, honestly,
Like someone's like,
I just
yeah,
felt
that.
it on my phone. I just thought someone had just stuck it on.
No, he
like,
wore during the game,
Oh, fair.
which I've never seen him. A commemorative appearance shirt.
What was
I've
it?
never seen before.
It actually surprises. I thought he would have more than that. Actually, I don't know why. In my mind, because it
I
was.
feel like he's played 250 in the last 2 weeks.
A lot of games.
It's a lot of games, but I think Gordon had his 100, and I'm like, Shaw only 250 compared to Gordon 100. I was a bit like,
I mean, if you think though, Bruce though, he didn't play
no, true.
a hell of a lot.
And
under
Gordon's
him.
probably been here about half the time as Shea now. This is his 4th January with me.
Share's been here longer than that, man.
No, I'm
Shea-
saying
Shea's
Gordon's probably
been-
been here half as long as
Who signed Shea again? Sorry, what?
Shea was.
it
Rafa,
Rafa?
I think.
Was it Rafa?
No, he came in. Yeah, it was Rafa. He came in the Rondon season.
God, did he?
I mean, you've got to look at that now, and you've got to think he has got to be one of our pound for pound best signings. Like,
Apparently,
without doubt.
someone worked it out earlier. His cost were not including wages, something like £12,500 per game
ridiculous, isn't it?
for the fee divided
Yeah.
by the amount of games he's played. He's and he's been class as well.
Well, it was
He-
only 2.25 million, something like that.
It was
something like that.
Deportivo we got him from.
Yeah, just he's been incredible. What a servant. What an achievement. And absolutely, I mean, he said it himself. Was it last season when he was interviewed and he said a bit of a bargain.
He said that, did he?
Is he
No,
not?
he did that.
Fair enough. Like I can't
He's
argue.
been mid. Really, really good. I'm going to go to some
And he's
questions.
Bloody gorgeous. As
He's a
well.
handsome lad. He's a very handsome
is,
lad. We're going to go on to some questions anyway from you lot in the chat. Get more in if you want us to have a good chat about it. Let's go for the first one. That's coming from Steve. Should we have a punted Gibbs White this month with Forrest in free fall? Could he be a player we need to unlock low block defenses? We've been interested in before, though, haven't we? I'm sure.
Fully enough, the lad that stands next to me at the game was saying that last night with like a number 10 who
Wasn't
could-
Steve,
Maybe
was
it
it?
was Steve. Huh?
Was it Steve? Mr. Passmore?
No, is that Steve? I don't think it is. Passmore. Is that you? It wasn't. It was actually the lad on my left because Steve
Is
said
that you? So he's going to like wave through the
I
camera.
wonder if Steve's been listening. He's gone. I'll tell you what. I would have half time lad on my. I don't know the lad's name next fella as well. But he was saying like number 10 would be good. And we were going through the team trying to think who could be, and Baltimore is probably the closest we've got. And
That's what we'll lack, though,
Gibbs
isn't it?
White kind of came up and says, "Well, that'd be worth it."
Because I think the thing is, right, is Howe's never going to change formation as in to play a 10. So you're needing one of your midfield 3 to be able to sit in to be a 3, but then is good enough to be a 10 when we are on the ball. And I think Gibbs can do that. Like,
The only time I think I've seen it was maybe against Man U. I think we not start with. I swear to God, I was sitting there watching it. I'm sure Ramsey was pushed way further up than everybody else.
Well, he changed it
possibly,
after.
he
He
changed
changed
He
after
changed
10
it.
minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got
The first 10,
Ramsey
yeah.
will go.
I still think
Go
you can
down.
definitely play that way. I play more of
Yeah.
a triangle with them. Listen, when you're up against away from home against tougher opposition, you know, you're 3, you're sitting. I get it.
He has done it in games. So
Yeah.
I think the times where he played like Isaac and Wilson together.
Oh yeah, I said
Go
that,
back 2
yeah.
or 3 seasons
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
But
But
that was few and far between, though.
at Bournemouth, he played with 2 strikers or something. I know that's a long time ago now as well. But he's got.
But it's just moments in games. See, this is the thing. I criticised him for the Man United game. I'm not asking to start both of them. That's not what I'm saying. Like, but there's moments in games where it would be great to have that option. Well, we have got the option, but it would be great to see it. And like, but to the Gibbs White point, sorry, to what he's saying, I do think where Forrest are on the table, you can look at it as being a chance to get him because they're doing poorly, but also then maybe we are not selling him, like, given where we are. But I mean, did you see his goal against Villa? I don't know if you've seen. I know they got beat, but his goal was excellent. Man.
He's a
Like,
good player.
he was like 1-on-1 and he to an angle, and he like sort of chipped it into the top corner. That was a really good finish. So I would love him, to be honest. And you're right, we've been linked with him for a while.
Yeah.
It seems
Before
that
he went to Forest, we
Yeah.
were linked with him. Was
Thing is, if we got him, if he's getting his game regularly, then we've got to change how the team goes out.
and that's the trouble, isn't it? It's difficult because who are you going to drop?
And when we wouldn't, I think Howe's quite wedded to the 4-3-3 for the most
well, you
part.
can still play a 4-3-3, and you just
Have him
play
as more
Sandro and Bruno as a 2.
So then no Joe.
in
So it's more of a
midfield
4. So it's a 4-2-3-1.
with
then.
him. Or you play one of them.
That's a 4-2-3-1. That's a different. So it's not a 4-3-3 mark. That's a different formation. Because that's what if you're playing Baltimore, you're playing him
No,
behind
because
Wissart.
we're
then-
playing either a double pivot or
I say 4-2-3-1, isn't it? That's what it would be.
Yeah.
If you're playing the 10 all the time. See, Volta made that to me would be the 10 all the time.
Yeah.
I still think Gibbs White can. I've seen Gibbs White play more centre of midfield, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like he can drop back. He doesn't. He's not like 10 like a Madison would be. So I'm trying to explain myself well enough.
Because him and Anderson will interchange.
Yes.
But to be honest, I haven't seen much transfer activity at all. Really, you usually see
West Ham's signed a striker. What's his face has gone to
Brennan Johnson.
Johnson's
Went
gone
to
to Palace.
33 million for him.
That's about it.
It's a funny one, because I thought he started at Spurs really well.
I did.
Really well last season, and then he's just dropped off the cliff this year.
It was when they played us at St James's. He was terrible. Even for Spurs, he was absolutely awful.
He was poor.
I think
yesterday.
he was okay when it started on a big hand, Johnny, but then the team completely changed. And
And didn't it? I mean, he's never going to get in the team ahead of him.
See what James Madison comes back.
I would have loved him, you know.
Madison.
No, Kudus.
He's meant. One coming in from Jules. If you lads had to make a New Year's resolution for the club and the team, what would it be?
Oh, yeah.
For the club, black and white nets, black and white seats.
That's a good one.
Is that a resolution?
I'll resolve to
It's a resolution of white nets.
It's a promise. Or something to achieve.
So it'll be more of something like a habit rather than an actual kind of
Maybe
bricks and mortar type of thing. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's try Voldemort as number 10.
New Year's resolution.
That means you've got to stick to it for the year, though. That's not trying it.
Is that?
You've got to do it.
This is a complicated question.
It's hard, isn't it?
If it's something you've got to do,
So you've got to stick to all season long.
I'd want us to get to the cup final again and win it again.
That's not an all season. That's not a resolution either. If I'm not having mine, you're not having that. I'm going to say all the program sellers should have contactless things because it's murder trying to.
The club should bring back beer bottle things at the bottom of the stairs as well.
Beer bottle things.
What do you call them? Pop-up bottle beer things.
I mean, like little bars.
Them little. I know. They used to have them massive like buckets with all the ice and beer in it. You didn't have to stand in a stupid queue for 3 hours to get a drink.
The concourse.
It's getting worse, that concourse, you know.
But it's
you've set me off, Jules.
Well, honestly, I just want to
queues.
You know what it is? The problem is those sweet and chili chips are that good.
They might be really good.
Has Adam been putting this in the chat? Because that's all he went on about at half time was the loaded fries.
Well, I got them yesterday.
I
went in a bit early because it's shite. But anyway, I'm not being negative, but it was shite. So I went and got a pint, and then I got a cheeseburger loaded fries.
Ooh,
they were absolutely gorgeous.
Aye,
gorgeous.
I've never eaten out. Last thing I ate in the ground was I had a pie when Dyer and Boyer had the fight. So I think last time I ate in St. Jim 21 years ago.
To be fair, I normally never ever do, but there was a foul and Palace were taking forever. And I was like, this is doing me tits in.
You could have slaughtered the cow.
I quickly ran in and got what it was lush though. It was really, really lush.
They were also doing a Sunday dinner, loaded fries.
Aye.
Well, they were doing Christmas ones over Christmas, yeah.
This week it was pork.
Oh, very nice.
Pork along.
One of my mates got the salt and vinegar, salt and pepper fries. He said they made them very pumpy afterwards. So that
was the thing. I never know. It was banging on about the salt and pepper chicken loaded fries. Yeah. While he stood there eating his chicken chunks with chips and curry sauce. It takes me longer to make that, Adam, than it does to make the salt and pepper one.
I don't know, the same thing.
Minus the chili, onions, and peppers.
Right.
Exactly the same thing.
It's exactly the same.
Before you read out the next question, so obviously we're missed, or the viewers missed, the wonderful voice who does our intro. And it's also her birthday today.
Oh, yes.
So happy birthday, Amy. Lots of love from the GallowgateShots.
Remember, tyre spots don't just do tyres.
There's the thing. Have we upset advertisers? But Chris is like,
shit. What have I done now?
I'll have to see.
That's all right. We'll complain it.
But I hope you're having a lovely time in Scotland with Chris.
In spite of Chris being there.
Yeah, in spite of Chris being there. Yeah.
Hope you have a lovely time.
You're saying that we're going to do it at the end. We'll see.
That was a lot of faith there, Mark.
Next question. I was going through some the other ones there now. One of the New Year's resolution was win every game. We've started well in 2026. Another one kind of on the back of the Gibbs White thing, and I think the ship sailed quite a while ago. Has the Elliot Anderson ship sailed? I was like, yes.
Well gone.
Well gone.
It's in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, big time. Somebody else saying he wants to have a look at Adam Morton. Again, I just don't think that. He's a good player. I thought he was all right yesterday.
Did all right.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good player, and I actually think we made him look quite average yesterday, which is good on us. But I do think he's a very good player.
Anderson, that ship sail, he goes from Forest, because he's not going to be at Forest for that much longer. Maybe if Forest stay up, maybe next season. And then directly goes to a Champions League club. Who else? I mean,
City's the rumour, isn't it?
Trent's good enough to go and.
I kind of
apparently so.
I kind of see that. Like,
If it's not Man City or Liverpool, it might as well be us or Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they go down, there's a chance. Never say never in football, man. Like
I think he'd like
crazy
to.
thing.
I think he.
I think he would.
I think if they go down, there would be a chance.
And if we are challenging for stuff, then why not?
Right, exactly.
He'd jump to come back.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he want to come back and play for us? I just think it's unlikely to happen given the way that he went, the fee that we got, what he would cost to come back.
Would you have him back? Would you have him back?
Swap him back for Vlachodimos. Just
see if we do a little.
Everyone's happy.
Hey, we could
Except for
we
Vlachodimos,
could yet see him in green/blue/yellow/pink.
I'll tell you what I thought last night, kind of on that subject of the colours. Didn't Nick Pope look cold? Weirdly, before the game started.
He wasn't the only one. I was bloody freezing.
When we're warming up, for some reason I thought he's going to be cold in yellow. It's got no bearing whatsoever, obviously, because obviously he's wearing
yellow is quite a warm colour as well. If he was wearing his blue outfit,
he's blue and
but he
does look cool.
He looked a little bit pink. Like his thighs and arms, I thought he looks a bit, because obviously Henderson had the tights
his
on
complexion.
It might well be. He's quite a fair lad, isn't he?
It did. I did laugh at that with the Palace, because it reminded us of our old 90s friend in his full joggers.
Dimitri Karim.
Yeah. That was it.
I had his tights on.
I thought he was channeling.
I thought he played quite well, Henderson, for the most part, and then
fantastic saves.
Then the second half, he kind of just flaps at that one. That was, I think, for the second.
Really poor for the second goal.
Yeah, it was. And that kind of
in that weather, you need them like Essex style goalkeeper tops. The ones.
Oh, really heavy,
heavy.
Murder in the rain, though.
Yeah, just that diamond thing.
When they get wet, they're absolutely like the weight.
Great song by Sophie Ellis Bextor. That
Murder in the rain.
Oh, I do want to mention one. Oh, sorry, you go, mate. You go.
We've got a couple of questions still. Someone was saying, is this from Mike? Is making Europa League or Conference League a failed season this season?
No, any European football.
Far from it.
I would love Europa League as well.
You know what
I'm tired of the Champions League. I'm tired.
Semi-final. Still got a cup semi-final.
Mm-hmm. It's and again, like I say, if again, I'll play the if Mianti had tits card again. What, 2 points off fifth?
I wouldn't mind Europa League though.
I wouldn't mind Europa League either.
Song.
I'll be quite happy with. I mean, I don't know.
Still be all right.
I would take it because I think we could win that.
I'd rather be in the conference than not.
Yes,
not being Europe at all. Beg pardon. That's
is that
fine.
8? Sorry, is that 8 or 9? 8.
It's looking like Champions League is going to be 5th again, by the looks of things.
It depends who wins the FA Cup and stuff, because we were in the Conference League, we won the League Cup last year, but because we're finishing Champions League spots, and it depends on how many people
goes down, like trickles, doesn't it?
It depends on who owns brothers, like sister clubs. Yeah, because obviously it would have been Palace or Forest.
Forest
would have been Palace
because Palace had to drop down
because it was a Leon. Is it Leon that they call or something? It's crap. Like
I have to say, and I haven't mentioned it at all. Which why should we? Because we're not any of these clubs podcast, but there's been a lot of movement the last couple of days, right? So obviously, My United's manager's been sacked. You've got Mascara. Mascara's gone. Maresca, sorry, apologise, sorry. That could change a few things, like maybe in our favour or not, because there's a lot of movement there, isn't there?
Do you think How might be?
No. Sorry. I don't mean.
I think it might be.
I don't mean in terms of how.
Man U will be daft not to at least be thinking about it.
I just seen a clip before I came tonight, and it was the Paddy McGuinness podcast that he does with Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes.
Oh, I watched that. Yeah.
Oh, is this the yes or no thing?
And they were doing yes or no, and Eddie Howe
said yes to Roy Keane as well, mate. So
they said no to Glasner. Both said no to Glasner.
I think that's fair enough.
I think it's maybe 3 at the back.
I
think it's 3 at the back. They didn't want 3 at the back. I think that's why the Man United fans are saying
well, that's the Amram thing, isn't it? The wing backs and stuff like that. The Glasner, I think Glasner's done a good job at Palace, but it's still 15th.
Yeah.
And for all the Newcastle fans were, we want him, we want Areola, we wouldn't be any better off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I think How will be linked. How is not good. I didn't mean it in that regard. What I meant was that there's a lot of changes there, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? So, like, you're right. 5th position here for the Champions League is a possibility. As in, what I mean is that it's available to be in the Champions League. But you've got Man United and Chelsea that might drop off now. If they're going to hike Fletcher at the end of the season, well, Man United could be gone.
Like, it looks like Rafinha's off to Chelsea as well. He's flew into the
that's a strange one.
One that might go for Regis Libris.
So that actual place all of a sudden may come maybe a chance, right? You know what I mean?
Rafinha's a funny one, isn't he?
Very funny. Yeah.
Strasbourg. So Strasbourg, one of Chelsea's.
It's feeder club.
Feeder clubs.
But then when you look at who he's flew over with, he's with basically all 3 staff that he's travelled with are ex-Brighton.
Right.
Either players or backroom staff that have been involved with the club. He's come to Chelsea where I think 16 of the first 11 are from Brighton.
Well, Graham Potter, when I got him, that was kind of part of that thing as well, that movement.
So it's like almost Brighton is, I mean, we've been saying it, right? Brighton are like a feeder club for Chelsea, but then they've actually got all of the backroom staff at Strasbourg as well, and then coming across into that.
Dan Ashworth probably going there as well.
Dougie Weir, he was one of them. He was the technical director.
We'll get a couple more questions in. I like this one, though. Transfer window has just opened. Who would your ideal signing be? That's from Mark. Let's keep them reasonable, though.
I was going to say, keep them realistic.
Realistic. I think that's a difficult one. There's a lot.
I mean,
I'd love to see us get Semenyo, but I just don't see that. Well, that's not happening now.
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah,
that was who I wanted.
Realistically, Jared Bourne.
I don't know if he
I don't know whether
I think he stays at West Ham, and if they go down, he scores 40 goals next season.
He's too old, isn't he? He's 30.
Oh, is he 30?
He's been around a long while.
He's got 3 years in him for all.
Well, there was a big song and dance about Wissa getting him, weren't there? People, oh, he's too old and all this. As if it's my money, as if it's their money. It's 40 million quid, man.
I think Bourne's excellent, but I don't think he would leave. And he's married to Danny Dyer's daughter now, so Danny Dyer would have him.
But she's off in playing SAS soldiers this week.
If we're a phrase it as well, maybe what position do you feel then? That.
I mean,
and then that might then come with the player.
Is anyone not going to see a right wing?
Yeah.
Well, there's just
the club are apparently after a right back, still looking at a goalkeeper and a centre back.
They'll never go for
right back and centre back are the two key, and that's because of the situation we found ourselves in with injuries.
Yeah,
that's what you've got to look at. Like, because I know people go right winger because it's still an issue, but you've spent 50 million quid. The board's probably saying, "How you got to suck this up, mate, and get him playing." And then probably also Barnes can play out there, Gordon at an absolute push. So there's options there. But I think when you look
at a swap deal with Alanga or Murphy for Bowen,
I think probably is fullback like for cover more than starting though. It's not necessarily.
Oh yeah. I don't think you're gonna. I think in time, I think Tino is. I don't think he'll be here for that much longer. Maybe in a season or two.
You're desperate to get rid of Tino. Always come back.
I'm really not. I love Tino, but I think he's that good that unless we're in the Champions League every year, then he's going to be one of the ones that. I mean, Man City won him last summer. And if Man City want him enough, they'll get him.
I could see him going.
Yeah, I'd be good because I love Tino. But I think that if we're looking at right backs, I think that's long term. Looking at someone who's going to come in, play when he's injured or whatever. Because it's a big drop off to think Ashby. I mean, Lewis Miley's done a good job, hasn't he? Last month or so.
Kraft and Trippier are both out of contract in the summer.
Yeah,
so there's I think they'll be two right backs that we've got.
Unless they get Trippier back fit and they believe that him, Miley cover, and Tino will get us through at the end. And then Trippier goes, and then we sign someone.
But there's already massive rumours about Trippier going in January.
I would hear that. I love Trippier.
What about this Keith Schmidt kid?
He's
he's been mentioned a lot.
A few times.
Apparently Madrid are after him as well.
Oh, well, that's happening.
Yeah.
It's one of these where we've got to be careful.
Be very high.
We've had our fingers burnt in the summer many times by going for players that, you know what it is, right? In my heart, I'm thinking, do you know what it is? We should be going for these players, but we'll kind of get them.
It's because we're fishing for the same stuff as Chelsea, Man U.
And you're right. If we're after this kid, great that we've spotted him. Great, we think he's great. But once you know Madrid in the world are interested, move on. I'm afraid because you don't waste your time. Mind you, we've dodged a bullet with Sesko. Can I just throw that in there for a second? Definitely dodged a bullet with him.
He looks a little bit of a donkey, doesn't he? Like
he might do better when a new manager comes, but he looked really poor. Sorry, I apologize.
I think it's tough to judge him in that.
Yeah, there is that as well.
I mean, you could say the same with Isaac. He's obviously.
Can I just say Ekitike is unreal, by the way.
Ekitike is brilliant.
Liverpool have fucked themselves there. If they'd have just let us sign Ekitike, then they could have got Isaac. They could have had a full summer. Could have hit the ground running. It could be scoring goals for us.
But then have we fucked ourselves in that sense as well, though?
Yep.
Were we too stubborn? This is a whole.
I don't think we were. I think we're right. If we'd have signed like João Pedro earlier in the summer, I think Isaac would have gone earlier. Then that would have been a similar scenario if Sesko didn't come yet. Although you never know how he's going to get out of him. But I don't think we've fucked ourselves necessarily. I think we're just because of what I was saying there about we're going for the same players as these clubs now.
Yeah,
they're not coming with it elongated the whole process.
I don't want to go back to that because it was awful at the time. But I think we had the right thoughts about trying to, because we're Champions League again, we had won my first trophy.
Yeah,
let's kick on, right? And I believe the club tried the right thing. It was from the right place. It's just unfortunate that bigger fish with it.
It'd be nice to think that in a few years' time we would be the player that. I mean, it's unlikely that we're ever going to be. If it's just Man U, a player's going to go to Man U for the most part because it's Man United and all that. Regardless of kind of,
it's been a circus for 10 years. It's still going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But like I like to think that because we are still looking to bring in players in that are a little bit which is what Isaac was. Kind of Tonali hadn't really been done. Bruno, hadn't played anywhere apart from Brazil and France, I think, when we got him. Sven Botman, Leon. Pretty much all the really good ones that we've signed have been that. You know, they've been like a little bit unproven, kind of on the cusp of becoming something better. You know, like Livermore and Hull were the same. So I think that's kind of what
Sandro's probably the only one that was an established
and
name.
even Sandro, you think when he first started before he had his ban, there was a lot of talk that can him and Bruno play together? Are the two similar? Are they going to be fighting for the same? In the end, obviously, it's worked really well.
They've done the change that everyone had to do because he kept playing him as a higher up. Like
about a year ago, wasn't it? Yeah,
he can't be doing that, man.
Mate, he did stick Bruno as a 6, second half.
Yeah, he did.
He went and go play there.
But I think,
which is fine.
I think that's what we've got to be looking at now. It can't be the finished article that we're going to sign. That one knows going to. We've got to. It's still going to be an element of risk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to admire that ambition. You've got to go after those players should they be available.
Yeah.
Because that is where we want to be.
I agree.
But then you've equally those players have to take a risk and a bit of a chance on us.
We'll not end on this next question because I'll be very conscious not to end talking about them. But is the Macklin bubble bursting? 4 goals in 7 games and only 1 win. That's from Steve as well.
Couldn't care less.
Nah,
I think they've done brilliantly actually over this run.
They've done great, and even the results have got like the draw against Tottenham,
the draw against Man City, they've done really well. You know, they really. They see the goal against Spurs, by the way.
Aye, what a point!
Really good.
I don't think he's great, Brian Brobby either, but it's a good hit.
No, it's a good hit.
Aye, so maybe not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Final question though, for Declan and Bestie. Important question: who's winning the Super Bowl?
I've got a really big fear that's going to be the Patriots. I hate the Patriots.
Well, I hope so, of course. I hope it's the Patriots.
I answered this question the same as I answered the last question. Couldn't care less.
I didn't I have to say I didn't watch any of the weekend at all.
I watched a bit of Red Zone. I want the Jags.
The Steelers won, didn't they?
Steelers won. Yeah, the Steelers were in the playoffs here, but I kind of see them getting
Mr. Field Goal, didn't he, the Ravens last
right at the end.
Crying.
Most people don't care.
I don't know.
I like the way the Jags because they've been lifting for a long time.
Hey, what did you think about the darts, Chris?
I enjoyed the darts.
That was shite. That was shite, wasn't it?
Oh no, the final was awful. Absolutely terrible.
I don't watch any of the darts this year.
None of it.
No, I like
it
the darts
actually
as well.
was really good this year.
Yeah.
The darts was good. The final was just terrible.
Well, Littler's like he's what Phil Taylor was 15 years ago, and he probably better.
Could be.
I think he's not.
Phil Taylor's still the goat of darts.
He's not showing better averages though, and.
Listen, Littler will be
3 years.
Yeah.
Littler's what Tiger was for golf.
As long as Littler doesn't muck about with people in caravans, allegedly.
He needs to stay off the kebab buddies.
I know.
He's only just turned 80. Once he gets off them out,
excuse me. What's this about Mark Walker?
Starts grinding out about drink.
What was that action there, you dirty old man?
My last was saying though, should he not lose some weight? And I was like, is it not like the weight of everything that's in here? Then
yeah,
does he
I think
need to keep that.
Phil Taylor did, and he knocked him for a couple of years because it's the weight and it's the
Raymond Barneveld as well.
Yeah.
You can't be losing too much. Well, I think that's probably time to wrap it up if we're going on the NFL and the darts.
You'd be good.
True, but I did want to mention one thing.
Go on then, Dagger.
Local hero back where it should be.
I still don't love that it's the shortened version, and
I agree.
could live without Hey Jude, but if that's a compromise, I'm better.
It's getting there, because I'm not going to lie, I was still unhappy when I was there, and I'm thinking, what's this shite playing for? Like, I just Hey Jude does not do it for me. It's just not us. Nothing to do with us, in my opinion. It's just not. But then it did come on eventually after the Premier League anthem, and I was like, well, at least it's still here. So it's better.
It should be the last one before kickoff. The Premier League anthem's always going to be there. It's kind of
I live with that. Yeah.
An obligation. I love Hey Jude the song, and we've sang Hey Jude for as long as I've been going to the game. But it's not in Newcastle. Every club in the country sings it, so it's
great.
Yeah, and that version of Blade and Races, I know, like it's lovely lads and lasses who made it, but it's still shit.
Well, what annoyed me even more was yet again at the end of the game, he decided to play free from Desire. Why?
Yeah, that's
why?
A few times that.
Awful that.
Last 3 games.
Awful.
Why is he stop playing?
Mind you,
he stopped playing Primal Scream.
Exactly. Why?
But maybe we shouldn't change anything. Like it's working, right? So just keep it going. Just don't change anything while we're winning. Once we lose, scrap it. But
yeah.
But it's not even that. Again, to your point, it's not connected.
Well, there's no one at the club when Mitrovic was here, because obviously it was his song for a bit.
But we're stolen a little bit for Dan Burn, but he's not even in the team.
Free from Desire.
Yeah.
Dan
Burns on fire.
I didn't realise that.
Ever so slightly.
Is
the
it
occasional use. But that's clutching at straws.
Pretty green eyes, isn't it?
Well, anyway, predictions for Leeds. Score.
2-1.
2-0.
2-0.
2-1.
1-1.
I'm actually thinking that really, but yeah, 2-1.
Is Chris watching? What's he saying?
He was on
Get
there
off,
before.
it's too late.
He was
An hour and
Over an hour.
Get off too late.
Gone
Yeah.
over an hour.
An hour and a quarter, aye.
Am I supposed to be getting you to say what you usually say here, Decker, when we've won a game?
Oh, we've already been and done that.
We've
man.
already
Did
done
that,
it.
right? We missed that.
Someone
yeah,
said
sorry.
that you have to have a can in your hand when you did it at the same time.
Well, when you know,
Magical stuff.
We'll have one twice since you last did it as well.
Cans,
So
yeah.
you'll go. We've rated that wrong.
Two
We've
can
got the
Van
call
Dam.
Excellent.
up the lads.
Right.
Have you
Cheers,
found the
lads.
right video to play us out
Who
here?
knows, honestly?
I'm excited to see this.
Who knows?
I hope it's just Mark's face.
It's called outro, funnily enough.
I'll never ever be invited back. You know what it is? It's one of them that Chris can put on the end if he needs to. That's when I'm going to go if it doesn't work. Thank you to everybody who did.
Thank you to Tyre Spot for
thank
supporting
you
us
to
and
Tyre
sponsoring us
Spot.
tonight, because Tyre Spot just do tyres,
Oh,
don't they?
excellent work.
They do all sorts of car servicing, brakes, exhausts, clutches, other vehicle type things.
Well, yeah, I suppose you've got me covered if I do fuck this up, which
Just
I'm
in
bound to.
case.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in. Make sure you subscribe, like, and of course, let us know what you think of the crap that's been going on, and let us know what you think is going to be happening in the game this week at Leeds on Wednesday. It's coming up nice and quickly, boys. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for letting me come in and make not too much of an ass of myself, but we'll figure out. Figure out that. Yes, I know. Yeah, we'll find out in a second. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Good night.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
There's no video. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.